we have an extraordinary update about our beloved interstellar wanderer. This could represent the most significant development in our solar neighborhood. Look at what we're seeing with 3 Atlas. Remember our previous discussion about how it disappeared behind the sun, experienced brightness increases, shifted toward blue wavelengths, and then exhibited unexpected velocity changes, non-gravitational movement patterns. Well, prepare yourself. Fresh imagery has just arrived. And to make the 3 Atlas mystery even more peculiar, it's demonstrating something remarkable: the absence of any substantial cometary tail. Dr. Avi Loeb has recently disclosed something current physics struggles to account for. Recent photographs reveal that interstellar object 3 Atlas displays no cometary tail whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. Zero trailing debris. This is tremendously unexpected because conventional understanding suggests there should be an enormous cloud of particulate matter and gaseous material surrounding it. We observe other comets throughout the solar system exhibiting spectacular tails extending away from solar influence. Comet Lemon serves as a perfect illustration. Yet with 3 Atlas, we see merely a diffuse sphere of luminosity, despite shedding 1/5 of its total mass during perihelion passage. Consider his precise statement. Following its perihelion transit, it experienced heating at 770 watts per square meter. We understand the earlier gas emission consisted predominantly of carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide ice can sublimate at significantly lower temperatures compared to water ice. Were this a conventional comet, the expelled dust and gas would have been pushed backward, away from solar radiation. Nevertheless, today's released photographs show no cometary tail whatsoever, only a concentrated light source. 1/5 of its mass disappeared, vanished without a trace. For comparison, Comet Lemon received photographic documentation from identical telescope equipment just 48 hours earlier, displaying a magnificent tail extending millions of kilometers behind it. That represents standard behavior when solar radiation contacts cometary composition. It generates a tail directed away from the sun. This isn't negotiable. It's fundamental physics. Yet 3 Atlas, after releasing material equivalent to Mount Everest multiplied thousands of times, shows nothing. Simply a hazy light sphere, identical to its pre-perihelion appearance. Where did that material disappear to? Consider this disturbing detail: the sunspot formations that subjected 3 Atlas to coronal mass ejections for 14 consecutive days straight. AR 4274 and associated regions just produced the most powerful X-class solar eruptions since June. X1.8 at 1730 UTC yesterday. X1.1 from beyond the limb several hours afterward. This timing cannot be coincidental. October 29th, 2025. 3rd Atlas achieves perihelion at 203 million kilometers from solar surface. Absorbs 770 watts per square meter of solar energy, sheds 20% of its mass. No debris observable. November 4th to 5th, 2025. The identical sunspot regions that scrutinized our interstellar guest for 14 days rotated toward Earth and instantly commenced firing civilization-threatening flares. Consider that progression. The sun investigated this object. Something transpired during that investigation. Now the sun is demonstrating violent response patterns. Dr. Loeb disclosed additional anomalies. Quote, "It transformed bluer than the sun itself, which is exceptionally unusual because typically comets release dust that reddens them. Objects don't shift bluer when subjected to heat. They shift redder unless they're performing something beyond our comprehension." It demonstrated what Loeb characterizes as non-gravitational acceleration, movement that gravitational forces alone cannot account for. His mathematical models indicate it would require losing at minimum 10% of its mass to accomplish this acceleration through standard outgassing mechanisms. It shed 20%. Yet there's no observable gas envelope, no debris zone, no tail. The material didn't evaporate. It was dispersed intentionally. When questioned directly about our predicament, Loeb's answer was unsettling. Affirmative. If we receive visitation from a technological civilization possessing superior technologies to our own, we cannot manage that situation. And yes, our situation is dire. This object travels 3 times faster than our speediest rockets. It measures 50 times larger than Starship. NASA has confirmed no spacecraft can reach it. We're powerless. But here's the connecting element. Those X-class eruptions aren't arbitrary solar behavior. The sun doesn't spontaneously explode after examining an interstellar object defying physical laws. Representative Anna Paulina Luna conducted meetings with NASA representatives today. She's insisting on disclosure of high-resolution photographs from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter's high-rise camera. Photographs that have been inexplicably withheld for 30 days, citing administrative complications and governmental shutdown. The identical shutdown that placed NASA offline while solar attacks target Earth. Allow me to present the complete scenario of current events. 3 Atlas released 20% of its mass, equivalent to billions of tons of material, with 0 visible debris. That material relocated somewhere. The sole explanation consistent with available data is deployment. Probes, monitoring devices. Something was released at perihelion when the object remained concealed from Earth's observation. The sun's response is instantaneous and aggressive. 2 X-class flares within hours. Scientists characterize AR-4274 as compact and gnarly, terminology indicating catastrophic energy storage. Additional flares are imminent. The European Space Agency just conducted emergency scenario planning. A Carrington-magnitude solar storm wouldn't merely damage satellites, it would eliminate them. Atmospheric drag multiplies 400%. Every satellite descends, GPS terminates, internet disappears, banking infrastructure collapses. Your mobile device becomes worthless, but that's not the gravest concern. Dr. Loeb disclosed 3 Atlas exhibits industrial nickel alloy characteristics, specifically the variety exclusively found in technological fabrication. It originated from the identical direction as the 1977 WOW signal within 9 degrees. It travels in the planetary plane, a trajectory Loeb proposes was engineered by intelligence. The object nears Earth on December 19th, 6 days preceding Christmas. Loeb characterizes it as potentially an unwanted gift for the holidays. His catastrophic scenario, quote, "The final thing we desire is for it to dispatch probes to planets like Earth. What if it already has? That 20% mass reduction at perihelion, billions of tons of material, could constitute thousands of probes, millions of sensors. A reconnaissance fleet deployed when the object remained perfectly concealed behind solar mass, where we couldn't observe the deployment. The sun witnessed it occur. The sun responded. Now those identical solar weapons are targeting Earth. The communication is explicit. Prepare for approaching events, the catastrophe chronology. Presently, AR-4274 expanding hourly, accumulating energy for additional X-class eruptions. NASA remains offline, monitoring infrastructure dark. November 7th-9th, initial coronal mass ejections strike Earth. These constitute warning volleys. The solar wind will surge past at 3 million kilometers hourly. November 8th, Comet A3 Lemon achieves perihelion perfectly synchronized with active regions. Solar resonance amplifies. If 3 Atlas deployed a fleet, this is coordination timing. November 20th, Mercury-Moon-Uranus alignment during new moon phase. Maximum gravitational instability. Optimal conditions for technological activation. December 19th, 3 Atlas's nearest Earth approach. Whatever was deployed arrives. December 25th, Loeb's unwanted gift materializes. The European Space Agency's catastrophe simulation assumes natural solar storms. They haven't calculated what occurs if those storms are initiated by something external, something comprehending our weakness. Earth sits at 1 astronomical unit from solar center, sufficiently close that when the sun fluctuates, our satellites perish, sufficiently close that a coordinated solar assault would terminate technological civilization within hours. We've constructed the ideal target. Every power infrastructure is a receiver. Every satellite represents vulnerability. Every electronic apparatus is a potential breakdown point. 7 billion phones, millions of computing devices, thousands of satellites, all interconnected, all susceptible. The 1859 Carrington event occurred naturally. Telegraph operators suffered electrocution. Wiring melted. Aurora phenomena appeared at equatorial latitudes. That preceded our encircling Earth in conductive metal and entrusting our survival to silicon technology. This occasion isn't natural. This occasion, something triggered it. Dr. Loeb's research demonstrates 3 Atlas is minimally 1 million times more massive than Oumuamua, our first authenticated interstellar visitor. Why such magnitude? Because it needed cargo capacity. That 20% mass reduction represents a payload beyond imagination. We must always contemplate low probability events, Loeb cautions, because the consequences are enormous. The consequences: deployed probes now distributed throughout the solar system, Sun responding with escalating aggression, Earth's technology approaching systematic destruction. December 19th, approach of the deployment platform. No defensive capability possible with existing technology. Survival procedures for the next 72 hours. Disconnect everything from power infrastructure immediately. The grid transforms into weaponry when CMEs impact. Encase electronics in multiple layers of heavy-duty aluminum foil, commercial grade, not household foil. Construct Faraday enclosures for essential devices. Store power cells separately. Fill vessels with water while pumping mechanisms function. Acquire non-perishable provisions immediately. ATMs will malfunction when infrastructure dies. The power transformation equipment will detonate first. They're engineered for standard loads, not electromagnetic pulses. When they combust, they're eliminated for months. No replacements available. Manufacturing new units requires electricity. Following that, cascade breakdown commences. Hour 1. Infrastructure collapses. Phones expire. Hour 6. Backup generators begin malfunctioning. Hour 24. Water pressure vanished. Sanitation fails. Hour 48. Hospital life support fails. Hour 72. Food disturbances begin. Day 7. Nuclear facility cooling fails. Day 10. Meltdowns commence. Day 30. Complete societal disintegration, unless that was the intention throughout. Dr. Loeb concluded our discussion with this: my hope is we will not encounter a serial killer on their side in this blind date. But what if we already have? What if that 20% mass reduction was deployment of something understanding exactly how to activate our sun? Something comprehending electromagnetic conflict superior to our agricultural understanding. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter documented something. NASA refuses disclosure. The government shuts down precisely as the sun erupts. Scientists employ terminology like unprecedented and catastrophic potential, but won't clarify why. 3 Atlas originated from the WOW signal direction, a signal we never deciphered, a signal that might have announced an arrival 48 years in preparation. Now it's present. It released its payload behind solar mass where we couldn't observe. The sun responded with aggression. Earth's termination has commenced. December 19th, it makes nearest approach, 6 days before Christmas. By then, we might lack electricity to observe its arrival. The aluminum foil isn't excessive caution anymore. It's the sole protection between your electronics and extinction. The next 45 days determine whether human technological civilization survives, or we're restored to 1850. While everyone debates whether 3 Atlas is natural or artificial, they're overlooking the critical point. It's irrelevant what it is. What matters is what it accomplished. It provoked solar anger, and angry stars eliminate planets. The solar termination of Earth has commenced. That absent 20% of mass, it's already deployed.